Guys, please watch the whole video before you draw a conclusion or leave a comment. I understand that some people might not watch my other videos and don't know how I cover the car market as a whole, so sometimes they'll see a title or a thumbnail and assume I have certain opinions of the car market that I don't. So if you usually watch content from other channels that cover this topic, please just watch the entire video before you leave a comment. With that being said, thanks for clicking on the video. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening as always. So a while back, I talked about the reported planned Stellantis price cuts by TK's Garage. For those of you who don't know him, he has a YouTube channel where he covers a lot of things relating to Stellantis. Now, the rumored price cuts were later corroborated by Ray Shefska from Car Edge and another YouTuber that goes by the name of Brandon from a channel called Car Questions Asked. So it wasn't just one person putting it out there saying that they have inside sources, it was multiple people. Now, that was a month ago. So now the question is, did the price cuts happen? Did they not happen? TK is saying that they did in one of his previous videos. The people who said the cuts aren't coming did not come up with any videos correcting or doubling down. And I really haven't addressed the issue either. So what's going on? Here's my take. This is just the information that I can get and present as objective data. And there's going to be some nuance to it, so please bear with me. The truth is, there's nothing official as of yet. Nothing I could find online from a major source could verify this. However, like I said, multiple independent YouTubers have all said that they have sources that confirm the cuts. So take from that what you will. The other thing is that these cuts were on mainly prior year models. That means 2023, 2024, and 2022, according to what I was hearing. It was not MSRP cuts, it was more like rebates and incentives from Stellantis on those prior models. So they weren't planning to reduce MSRPs for the current models, but instead give discounts on unsold prior year units. Now, from the last update I could get, the idea was still being refined, so to speak. Obviously, when you throw something out there like this, you have to ask how are they going to implement this without causing people who recently bought their cars to not lose a ton on depreciation. Also, there's the other issue of the current 2025 inventory. You're thinking about what about the dealers who sold all their 2024s and now have to sell 2025s that have to compete with these heavily discounted 2024s. So there's definitely a lot of questions to be answered. That was my main concern. These cuts, in the way that they were being described early on, couldn't be implemented without causing more problems than they solve. Now, since then, the way that they were being described has been toned down considerably. So, do I think the cuts are coming? Do I think they already came? To be honest, I searched the internet for different Stellantis dealerships across North America to try to get a trend. See if I notice a bunch of discounts in different dealerships across the country. To be honest, there was no consensus. I can't sit here and give you guys anything conclusive from just looking at different dealers. Some were giving 10 to 20% discounts, some were only giving 5 to 10% discounts, some had a lot of previous year inventory, some did not. Are the ones only giving out 5% discounts and not taking advantage of the Stellantis offer? Or did they never get it? Are these rebates being offered to every dealer or just some? What about the dealers that already sold their 2024s and 2023s? Or were they able to sell it because they got the rebates already? Or did they just do their own discounts? Did Stellantis compensate the dealers that gave 20 to 30% discounts out of their own pockets before they came up with this plan? You see, there are too many questions that we don't have answers to, so it's really hard to make an assessment that's not just speculation. Now, do I think Stellantis offered some help to dealers in terms of rebates and incentives? Absolutely. Do I think there's truth to what TK and Ray from Car Edge are saying? Yes, but there are two key factors we need to understand that makes this news not as much of a game changer as a lot of people would like to believe. The first is that these rebates and incentives may never be announced or publicized in any official capacity. This would be for two possible reasons. One is so that the dealerships that have sold most or all of their previous year inventory don't get screwed because everyone knows they can get a much better discount on previous year units. You are essentially taking away the leverage these dealers have while forcing them to give discounts out of their own pockets to move their current 2025 inventory. The second reason is that any public announcement would cause massive depreciation to people who already bought Stellantis vehicles before these rebates came into play. This is going to be a huge PR nightmare which Stellantis just doesn't want to deal with, unless of course they're willing to give out some massive negative equity assistance to their customers, which I've heard rumors of as well, but that's something I highly doubt because it just seems way too costly. Now, even if they don't publicly announce it, the prices will still go down on used Stellantis vehicles, but not anywhere near the type of depreciation you would see if there was an official announcement. Now, the second and arguably more important factor we have to take into account is the dealerships. My understanding is they don't have to use these rebates from Stellantis. They can just charge customers whatever they feel like they can get from them. So if a dealership is already starting to sell prior year inventory at MSRP or maybe with a small 5 to 10% discount, they're free to still do that. There's no obligation for them to give a discount. And this is why I think prices won't be affected as much. Because I know TK stated that Stellantis is giving out 20% discount and the dealers are adding another 10 to 15%. But if the dealer only needs 5 or 10% to move metal, that's what they'll go with. They're not going to try to reset the market or give any more discounts than they have to. Because some dealership owners also own dealerships with other brands. So if you're a Stellantis dealership owner that also owns a GM dealership and your GM dealership is doing well, you want to cut prices just enough to move metal with your Stellantis brands, but not so much that it starts forcing you to cut on your GM prices. So I'd be skeptical of the notion that you'll see these discounts in every dealer, and that's why I don't think it'll cause any correction in the overall market. This help from Stellantis is just a tool that gives a lot of these dealers more flexibility to be price competitive. This isn't an invitation to completely reset the market with a fire sale. Now, another little thing I have to mention is that these rebates, whether they affect the market or not, will certainly cause depreciation in current Stellantis cars. So just because a dealership is not giving out the discounts doesn't mean it's not going to take into account depreciation when people bring in trade-ins. So certain places could have the worst of both worlds. None of the discounts, all of the depreciation. So that's my take. I do believe these discounts are coming, but they won't be public, and a lot of the dealers won't fully use them, so they won't have a massive impact on the market. So for those of you who listened all the way through, thanks. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this, please click like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.